Well, good evening, and thanks for joining us here for Kval News at 6 o'clock. And the wildfire in southern Oregon is the big story.
Hundreds of homes are threatened right now in the area. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Stephanie Domerat.
And I'm David Walker. We thank you for joining us. That fire tonight, just 10% contained, and now FEMA is authorizing federal funds to help with firefighting costs there in southern Oregon. Those costs have already exceeded $3 million.
Dan McCarthy is live for us now in the area with the very latest. Dan, any word on why this fire is so tough to fight?
Well, good evening, guys. The difficulty really boils down to, according to crews at least, the location of the fire along I-5 as well as the slope. Let's take a quick look at some of the smoke just off to the east of us here, or excuse me, the west of us. This is on the southbound side. Now, crews have been telling us just because of the proximity to I-5, there's been a lot of issues dealing with the traffic that's been making its way through. Some of the rubberneckers looking at the firefighting being done. And then more importantly, just the slope. It's been an issue for firefighters just because there was actually an older wildfire here from about 30 years ago that wasn't cleaned up properly. So now a lot of these trees are getting burned after being rotted years ago. And then they're falling and sliding and hitting some of the firefighters. Obviously, as we've heard, there was an injury to a firefighter last night. He has since recovered. But that is just some of the examples of why this has been such a difficult fire to fight.
So many firefighters there. Last count, we heard about 1,000 firefighters already. Are there more crews coming in or expected today?
Well, guys, that is the big increase from yesterday to today. I haven't heard in the past day or so whether more crews have been coming in through this afternoon, but we were at around 900 yesterday. We're up over 1,000 now, so about a 300 number of firefighters that increased or came into the area to battle this thing in the past day or so. And like I mentioned, one has been hurt. But it's been a fire that has had a lot of people's attention. As we've been here, we've seen a lot of helicopters coming in and out. I mean, they've done a couple dozen runs over our head just to bring some water in. So we're seeing a lot on the air attack side. And as I mentioned, a lot more crews that came in from yesterday to today.
And Dan, we did hear that there were structures that are being threatened, but there's a lot of small communities there, tight-knit, smaller communities in that area. Are they being threatened at this time?
Well, I'm in Azalea right now, and I had a chance to talk to a couple of residents, and you know, they weren't really too moved by the whole situation. They're under level 2 evacuation. That's get set. At this point in time, only 3 homes are on go level 3 evacuation. We just wanted to give you a quick look at the helicopter flying overhead now. This guy's coming back to make another run of water and will assuredly be making its way back to the fire. But anyway, we did speak to 2 community members who just said, yeah, they're ready for it. They're on level 2. They even have hoses in their backyard. Their plans aren't to leave, but rather to stay here and deal with the fire if it does cross the I-5 and make its way over this way. But for now, I'm live in Azalea. Dan McCarthy, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, Dan, thank you so much. And here's a live look outside ahead of our first look at the forecast tonight. Skies were sunny, temperatures were warm out there as well.
Well, you know, it's been an interesting deal with all these fires. Our chief meteorologist, Travis Knutson, is with us now. This cool down, what there is of it, what's that done in terms of impacting the fire danger?
Well, we did see a little bit of a cool down from where temperatures were at over the weekend, and it didn't make much of an impact on our fire danger, but it did help at least a little bit. Here's a look at our fire potential from the Oregon Department of Forestry. Douglas and Coos County still on the high fire danger side, which of course is where that Milepost 97 fire is burning. But up in Linn County, our drop in temperatures today actually brought us down to a moderate fire danger. Unfortunately, the cool down we saw today is only short-lived, so that fire danger will increase once more as we head through the week and warm back up. Satellite and red alert for the last few hours. You can see that smoke continuing to move from the Milepost 97 fire from the north to the south, where it's had a substantial impact on the air quality down across the Rogue Valley. All the gray you see is where that smoke is at, and that's where it will remain as our winds stay out of the north. And while we're warming up for the next couple of days, I'm already tracking the next storm out across the Pacific Ocean. I'll tell you where it's heading and if it'll have an impact on us. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right. Well, thank you, Travis. Dan talking about the fire situation in southern Oregon and all over the state. Now, fire danger is on the rise. Some rural Lane County fire departments are gearing up now to the challenge. As
Tom Adams reports, McKenzie Fire and Rescue is expanding its staffing for the summer while keeping a close watch on the Milepost 97 fire burning in Douglas County.
Fire chiefs from rural departments in the southern Willamette Valley are gearing up for a call they hope they don't get.
The fire in Canyonville has not resulted in a state conflagration yet, so no local resources have gone to that.
But you can be sure the Milepost 97 blaze has the attention of Chief Darren Busich at McKenzie Fire and Rescue.
Lane County is on as part of the state conflagration task force, and if the state calls for help and we're up, then we'll send crews out. But so far this year, we haven't seen anybody out.
With the weather getting hotter and fuels drying up, Busich has added more staffing to the McKenzie department.
We do add additional staffing in the summer, 3 additional part-time staff. So we always have 2 people on duty every day, 24 hours a day.
Firefighters are checking their equipment every day in trucks like this Type 6 engine built for wildfires.
Equipped with a bunch of extra wildland hose, 450 gallons of water, and 4-wheel drive, so it's designed to get out.
There are 4 other fire stations within the McKenzie Fire District. Right here is Walterville Station Number 1, which has just been remodeled. The fire district received a $685,000 state grant to do a seismic update of the old firehouse.
Trying to create a residency program to get some more sleepers there. Just trying to continue to find ways of attracting new volunteers.
The chief says adding more McKenzie area residents to the pool of volunteers would really help the cause. Reporting in Leesburg, I'm Tom Adams.
Chief Busich tells us a new academy for volunteer firefighter recruits is coming up soon at the department. You can go to McKenzieFire.com for more information. Well, warm temperatures and strong winds mean fire season is in full swing, something Oregon Department of Transportation does not take lightly. A spark on a highway can start a major fire if precautions aren't taken. Every area along ODOT roads gets mowed 2 to 3 times a year to manage fuel for potential fires. Crews cut down vegetation and use specially designed fire prevention tools to put out any potential flames.
Starting this week, we also have a large dump truck, a 10-yarder with water in it, so that we have water there immediately to put it down.
Beer Seidel says they plan this out to be prepared during fire season, but also urge drivers to be aware of their surroundings when on the road.
We have new information now on a potentially dangerous activity that's becoming more and more popular. 3 people drowned in separate incidents in western Washington this year after they fell off their paddle boards. They all had one thing in common. None of them were wearing life jackets. Officials say the risk of falling and drowning is real, but that not everyone sees the danger.
I feel totally safe. In all honesty, we should really have PFDs on at this moment, and we forgot them today, but we'll just stay close to the bay.
Earlier this month, a 46-year-old Seattle man died while paddleboarding roughly 50 yards from the shore. That was at a park on Mercer Island. In Washington state, it's illegal to paddleboard without a life jacket. In Oregon, anyone younger than 12 is required to wear one.
Washington Governor and 2020 presidential hopeful Jay Onsley was in Detroit and Flint, Michigan today talking about climate change. Onsley has a 10-year national climate mission agenda and several policy plans within it. Today he spoke about equity mapping, essentially saying it's important to make infrastructure investments in the right places to deal with economic and racial injustice.
I'm proud that we're going to have a clean water for all initiative to ensure that everyone has drinking water. I'm proud that we're going to address our housing crisis as part of this effort, and I'm proud that we've started a universal clean energy service fund.
The governor will be on CNN this Wednesday night in night 2 of the second round of Democratic presidential debates.
Well, the Portland Diamond Project is making moves to protect potential employees despite not having a team yet. That agreement means future employees in concessions, retail, maintenance, media, and more could organize and join a union. Today, the group signed a labor harmony agreement, joining forces with the Oregon AFL-CIO and several other labor unions. The mayor of Portland called it a historic agreement. County Chair Deb Kafori says it represents giving a chance to people who are often left out.
It also presents a golden opportunity to create much-needed living wage jobs for people of color, for women, and for those who are living on low incomes.
Opponents of the project say Portland doesn't have the infrastructure to support a stadium and fans and worry about parking development and funding for the project. Looking ahead, the Diamond Project is in the midst of an evaluation period with the Port of Portland on Terminal 2 as a site for a ballpark. They also expect to meet with the Major League Baseball commissioner in the next few months to continue discussions. Looking ahead on Kval News, new advancements in technology and medicine, saving the lives of those who have some kind of heart failure.
And also next, kids are more susceptible to brain injuries, according to a new study. More on the leading causes in just a few minutes.